agricultural and food security. They could be coming in any moment from now, but we have their permission to go ahead with this dialogue depending on when they come up, when they come in. So, but the panelists, I'm going to be inviting one after the other up here so that we can start and go on with the discussion. Permit me to call upstage here Dr. Marcos. I find it difficult to pronounce his name, permit me, but he's, do I say Achiri? He is the president of the International Commission on Irrigation and Drainage. Please, I wish I hear the hands louder. I'll give you the center seat.
No, that's for the ministers.
No, the ministers are going to be here. They are not coming upstairs. Thank you. All right, I'm going to be asking up on stage the Director General of the International Water Management Institute, in Colombo, Sri Lanka, Dr. Mark Smith. Okay. Thank you, Mark Smith. We had a wonderful keynote paper from you 2 days ago. Thank you very much for being here. All right, we have a representation of the Minister of Water Resources. I hope I got that right, or Minister of Agri, all the way from Egypt. Water Resources and Irrigation, yes. And unfortunately, it is his own name I have here. But please, as you come up, you just come, just tell the audience your name. Please, can you appreciate him? If you don't mind, just thank you.
I am Mohammed Shaban, the Drainage Research Institute Director and the Chairman of the Egyptian Committee for Irrigation and Drainage, and I'm coming on behalf of His Excellency Dr. Hani Swalem. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, thank you very much. Okay, is there an usher in this house to help me so that I can run fast? All right. Okay, please quickly up here. We have the Nigerian House of Representatives. They are the ones that makes the law for Nigeria. And the Honorable Sadi Soli, he is the chairperson the Committee on Water Resources in the House of Representatives. Please welcome him as he comes. All right, we have an ambassador in the house, a one-time ambassador to Japan. He was a one-time commissioner of agriculture in Kwara State, and is a scholar and is presently in the University of Abuja. Please put your hand together as Ambassador Professor Muhammad Ghana Yisa comes off stage. Where are my ushers? Okay, that's all right. Please, can I hear the hands? Let me do this fast for time's sake. Okay, now the World Bank is here, but don't think that they have the money here. The money is not here, but the World Bank is here. All right, and the World Bank, the director, the country director of World Bank, but is represented by Anne, is it Anne Sestra? You can just take a seat, yes. Please welcome her as she comes. Okay, please, you permit me to run very fast now. I think the president of West and Central African Association of Irrigation and Drainage, Dr. Adamu Mustafa, is here. Is he in the house now? Dr. Adamu Mustafa, president of West and Central African Association of Irrigation and Drainage. Okay, he's not here. All right, not yet, probably. Then all the way from African Union Commission, I have Dr. Monre Agbolahon. Please, can you appreciate him as he comes? Please permit me for time's sake, let's run. And then from the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, I have Dr. Inzeyamana Valari. Please get him up here for me. Thank you very much. There's a man in the private sector, active, making so much impact on agriculture. Professor John Kennedy Opara. Is he in the house yet? John Kennedy Opara, professor? Okay, I'll wait. His arrival. Okay. Can I have upstage here from the basin, the Niger Basin Authority, the representative Bashir Alkali? Okay, he himself is here. He's representing the executive secretary. Please get him up, please, quickly. Okay. Ambassador Nuhu Maman, executive secretary, Lake Chad Basin Commission. This is the rep here. Okay, not in yet. All right, we have a lady that is a specialist in water laws, and she's going to be up here too. Barrister Mrs. Wakama Odili, is she in the house? Please welcome her. Please, let's keep this place lively with our hands. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Just 1 minute. Thank you. I'm just been told that the Honorable Minister for Agriculture and Food Security, our own Senator Abubakar Yari, is coming in right away. So we'll be glad to have him up here as soon as he comes in. All right, we want to get into this business as quickly as possible because it's supposed to be 2 hours of dialogue. That's why you see the table, the high table, with men and women this way. They are very much, we have questions that we will be asking them to respond to. And they are very much ready for this. That I know. They are very much ready for this. They're part of this discussion. They are very much ready. Permit me, I'm just trying to just buy 1 or 2 more minutes, hoping that the minister will come in so that we can also get him here. And I want to be sure that I've not left anybody out. Please, if Kennedy Opara is up here, is in, I have a space for him, and I have a space for Minister of Food Security, Agriculture and Food Security. Meanwhile, I'm happy to have you all in this house for this discussion. And we're going to have room for questions. we're going to have room for contribution within the time frame. I think almost an hour is already gone out of the time, but still, we still can hit it within the time frame. All right, I think please, can you check for me if the minister is just right out there? All right, thank you very much. I think we can kickstart this. We can kickstart this while we wait for the Honorable Minister, because there are people online also who are following this, and some of them have been patiently waiting. They've waited patiently since 2:30 when this was to start. All right, thank you very much. Glad to have all of you on board here. It's good seeing your faces all the way from Nigeria, Egypt, Sri Lanka, Italy. Am I correct? Oh, good. And then Nigeria, all right, from them, the World Bank representative, all the way from AU, African Union Commission, FAO, right, thank you very much. And then the law, the water law, the expert in water law. Thank you. I'm glad to have you here. And we're going to just deal with the questions bit by bit, and then on time to short response that will make difference. Now, irrigation development and water security in Africa. How do you rate Africa in terms of achievement of the water influence SDGs? Particularly SDG 1, spoke about poverty, SDG 2, zero hunger, SDG 6, clean water and sanitation, SDG 13, climate action. Where do you think we are? So I don't mind, there are mics, so you could use this, and then starting from you, if you just hit it, just a sentence or two, we will have been doing well in this discussion. All right, please, let's go. Maybe you move in so that, yes. All right, so where are we? SDG, achieving SDG in Africa. So where are we? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I can say that we have more to do. We are less behind.
regional cooperation between different countries within the basin and even within different basins. This can be clear in the African Union Agenda 2063. I would like also to have the chance to present some of the efforts that Egypt were working in this hand by hand with many different ribarian countries and in the continent. We were working hard in the African Minister Council on Water, AMCAO. Egypt was leading this institution from 23 till the beginning of 25. We had a really good achievement with our colleagues in Africa. We were working also hard hand by hand in the United Nations Water Conference, in the 10th World Water Forum in Bali. We were leading the COP27 in Egypt. We were hosted in Egypt. And finally, we were combining efforts, joining forces to work in the area of water and climate, especially that is reflected in the action of water adaptation and resilience aware. We provide capacity building programs for many of the African young professionals. I would say till now.
Please, the Minister for Agriculture and Water Resources, the Senator Abubakar Yari. Please, can we welcome, let's hear our hands. Thank you. All right. Sir, you're welcome. That is the Honorable, he is a senator, and he is currently the Minister for Agriculture and Food Security, Senator Abba Kyari. You're welcome, sir. Thank you very much. Good. The dialogue is on. We just started, and we'll be glad to have you contribute from that position. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. All right.
Only one sentence more. I would like to again talk about the provision of intensive capacity building programs that is organized within the initiative AWARE. It is planned for the coming 3 years to provide training for 2,500 participants. We did already 16 training programs, participated in 200 participants. Thank you.
I'll continue. Okay?
Okay, yes, yeah. Please. Let's keep it rolling quickly.
Sure.
Just hit it.
I think all countries are not progressing fast enough worldwide. I think in the case of Africa, of course, we know that poverty rates in rural areas remain stubbornly high. And one of the things highlighted in this conference is water can really make a difference to progress with that challenge. And in particular, we must think of water and irrigation development in terms of driving transformation through water. So in water-scarce environments, in context of economic water scarcity, if we can change access to water for women, for youth, for smallholder farmers, we can change incomes, change health outcomes, change nutrition outcomes, etc. And that drives progress in the SDGs. So let's not forget about transformation through water. I think it's at the core of this conference.
Thank you very much. All right, before the next person, I've just been properly informed of our minister who is seated is chairing this occasion. So please, you're welcome, sir. And please, can I hear your hands? Can I hear your hands? Thank you very much, sir. I'm happy to have you here chairing this. So I will now run on your order. Thank you very much. All right, so please, can we roll it faster? We're still just on that question. How far have we gone? SDG goals in Africa, especially those goals that are water influence, issue of hunger, issue of poverty, issue of clean water, issue of clean water and sanitation, the goal that address climate change. All these have a relationship with water. So how far have we gone in Africa? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Secretary General Gutierrez has launched the alarm. We are far away from reaching the targets. This we have to know. There's nowhere in the world we can possibly reach those targets by 2030, all over the world. Now, coming to Africa. I think this is my perception, my opinion. Many progress have been made. There are two things, very quickly, and we can come back upon later. First of all, there's too much discrepancy between the urban areas and the rural areas. Significant increase has been done in the urban areas, peri-urban areas, but so much needs to be done, especially in the rural areas. Second thing, very quickly, we need to have access to data. As it always has been said, you cannot manage what you cannot control. If we don't have proper data, if we don't have access to data, we cannot know what's going on. So this is my impression.
Thank you very much. Can we have Honorable Sadi Soli?
I think Mr. President has actually touched one of the areas that we should look at, that reliable and accurate data. But most importantly, where we are lacking behind on these three areas. One, that is political instability. How do you achieve these issues in Sudan? There's political instability. Then funding is another factor. Then policy is sustainability. How do you achieve all these issues when you have policies that are not sustainable, policies that are not inclusive? I think if we didn't get these things right, we will have the program there, but we will not get far, because if you have instability, you are going to deal with people. You are going to improve the lot of people. You are going to eradicate hunger. You are going to give clean water. If you have political instability within the society, how do you achieve these things? People will not have access to water because they have to keep on moving. There's a lot of IDPs here, there, and there. People moving to one country or one community. Completely, the society is not stable. Then political instability. These are also issues that will guide those that are in charge of governance to provide the stability to allow the program to succeed. I think if we look at these issues, we will be somewhere. Thank you.
Thank you. Ambassador, Professor, before you go, let me add a second question so that we can roll on with that. Now, water for irrigation in Africa. What should be the focal issue in terms of infrastructural development, policies and investment for Africa to scale up and march towards achieving the SDG faster? So, you could speak on the first, but I want you to add this to it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. All protocol duly and respectively observed. Water is so important, and I'm not just talking about just any type of water. We're talking about clean water. It's important for food production, it's important for consumption, and many responsible governments across the world recognize this importance. Many responsible governments across the world. So they strive to make sure that water is available. As earlier said, I think many countries in the world are doing better than us in Africa. Still, in Africa, there are communities without clean water, access to clean water. So you use unclean water to prepare your food. You use unclean water to farm, to irrigate your farm. You use unclean water for all your domestic use. Then how do you expect to be healthy? How are you expected to be hunger-free, which is SDG number 2?
Yes.
then how are you expected to be out of poverty? You cannot. You can't do it. So it's important that as we discuss this topic here, let us advise, encourage, pressurize governments to produce, to generate resources that will make water, clean water, available to everybody. All of us need water.
Thank you very much. World Bank? Thank you. You could respond to the two questions.
Thank you.
Yep.
Would you like me to start with answering both questions?
You could choose to start with the first.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So on the SDGs, I think I can just only underline what the previous speaker said, that we are really far on all of them to achieving the targets. We have done some analysis, and especially the SDG on sanitation is very far. And we know that beside water availability for food production, which is, I think, the main topic of this conference, we also need clean water for any domestic and industrial use. We need clean water and access to sanitation to keep our children in school and make sure that we calm down on the level of stunting and undernourishment of many of the children in many countries in Africa. We have data, and about 6% of irrigation potential has been developed in Africa. So there is really quite a lot of opportunities. We have challenges, but we also have a lot of opportunities. So maybe moving on to the second question on what are the key actions that we probably need to focus on when investing in irrigation and drainage, we maybe have three. We have infrastructure development. We still see that infrastructure is lacking. So many countries suffer from physical water scarcity, but we also have countries that suffer from economic water scarcity. They are water abundant, but the water is not available when and where is required for production. So having good investments, then focusing on strong policies to enable different players to be able to contribute to the water development strategies of the countries. And then finally, the different investment strategies in terms of mobilizing adequate financing for the right investments. And I pass it over to Mike.
Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Munre from African Union Commission. I know you deal a lot with policies and all that. So in your response, what should be the focal issues, especially policy, in addition to the first question? Please feel free.
Thank you, Chair. Thank
Yes.
you. I would have loved that you had asked the African Development Agenda instead of the SDG. But thank the Minister of Agriculture, because at the African Union, we have the African Union Development Agenda.
That's right.
Agenda 2063. So though it is aligned to the SDGs, but at the continent level, we want to refer to the African we want as the.
That's right.
Thank you. In terms of achievements, in the morning, we're giving a very sound response to this type of questions. That you say, okay, in terms of direction, we are on the right track. But in terms of speed, that is where we are lagging behind. It is a target. The SDG, you have targets. We may not have hit the target, but it doesn't mean that countries in the continent, we are moving backward. No, we are in the right direction, but in terms of magnitude, in terms of the speed, that is where we are lacking. So then the second part of the question, in terms of the policy and investment issues, I think policy is key. We must have the right policy prescription to drive investment. I think that is what is lacking in the continent. We have a lot of policy inconsistencies. We have a lot of policy failures. New government come and policy changes. A lot of crisis issues that affect policy implementation. So in terms of investment that will drive achievement of the SDGs, we need the right policy to be put in place. National government, member state must put in place policies that address sustainable livelihood, policies that address sustainable investment, so that member states can invest sustainably and the private sector can be involved even in this infrastructural development. Chair, I think I will stop there so that my colleague can take over. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Food and Agriculture Organization, you do a lot. And let's hear from you, Dr. Valari. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. Standing on existing protocol. On the first question for SDGs, that is true, agricultural growth will lead to economic development. But from the 2024 state of food security and nutrition in the world, the number of people unable to afford a healthy diet increased substantially in Africa.
Wow.
And it rose to 925 million. That was an increase of almost 24 million compared to 2022. But this situation is arriving while in other countries they became below the pandemic levels. That is Asia, North America, and Europe. So being on the right track, we are, but we see signs that we are rather lagging behind, slowing down. We might be advancing, but slowing down because the increase of the population doesn't go with the increase of the food production. So people are not affording the food. Clean water, climate, we are talking about flooding, we are talking about droughts. We don't see a sign of much improvement. So that is the situation on the SDGs. If I go on the second question.
We'll be coming back to you
okay.
on that question and an additional question.
Okay.
So I may just wish the water law expert to respond in 1 minute. Yeah. I want to, the chair has another assignment, and I would like to just rest it there, and then we'll welcome the chair to the podium to address us, and then he will leave us to continue with our dialogue. So please, can you hit it just shortly?
Thank you very much. I stand on existing protocol. My colleagues here have dealt with some SDGs that relate to water resources. SDG 1, 2, and but I want to emphasize on the SDG that speaks directly to water. That's SDG 6, clean water and sanitation. And I want to refer us to target 5 that talks of achieving integrated water resources management by 2030 through Transboundary Water Corporation. And then indicator 2 says the proportion of the area, the basins that have operational arrangement. Operational arrangement here means some form of legal framework, treaties, agreements for managing the water resources in the basins. And so the question is, how many transboundary water courses in Africa have some form of operational arrangement? Because to achieve water security, see, bulk of our waters here are transboundary, not just surface, but groundwater. Why the surface waters are actually addressed, because I took time to go through the UN report on SDG Goal 6. I see that a lot of operational arrangements on a lot of surface water, but very few on aquifers, the groundwater. Lately, I got involved in the NBI tax project on groundwater. And it's really challenging to see that our groundwater is not really moderated. There is hardly framework of cooperation in our groundwater.
Thank you.
And so how do we achieve water scarcity? And then even the surface water. In Nigeria, we have some river basins without any form of legal framework, like Cross River, Abayafi, Kweme Water. They are there. And then but the big ones like Niger Basin, Lake Chad, they have framework. But the small ones, nobody knows what happens there. So we have to really address them in the process of achieving the SDG goals. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We still have 1 hour more to go in this dialogue, but permit me, I'm going to be requesting the House to be on their feet as we welcome to the podium Honorable Minister of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, Senator Abubakar Yari. Please, let's rise on our feet and let's have him up here. Thank you very much. Can we appreciate with a good clap also?
Thank you very much. Please sit down. I've seen quite a few people that I can recognize, but I would maybe politically hierarchical recognize first the Honorable Chairman of the House Committee on Water Resources, Honorable Sado Soli, and of course heads of international bodies here sitting on the panels, and I've also seen some directors of federal ministries here and heads of agencies and honorable commissioners from states. I would also want to personally recognize one of my successors. I was also a commissioner for water resources in my state some 22 years ago, I believe. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, permit me to stand on the existing protocol. But I'm happy to be here, even though there was a mix-up in communication. I would like to first and foremost apologize for coming in a bit late. But I was hoping to be part of the panelists here, because this is something that is very dear to almost all of us and is very important. Water is life, as it's said. And I think that is why it ranks high on the SDG. And I've seen, even from the local levels to the federal level, the importance, and even on continental, like you have just mentioned, and also on the global scale, the importance of water, both for human consumption and for irrigation for agricultural purposes, and for even industrial use and other uses. Without water, you can't even build a house. So that is not even part of the agriculture that we're talking about. But first, I would like to say that African countries and governments face significant concerns and challenges in managing water resources, particularly concerning irrigation and drainage. And these challenges have direct implication on food security, water quality, climate resilience, necessitating strategic interventions aligned with the SDG. And number 1 SDG is on poverty. Number 2 is zero hunger. Number 6, clean water and sanitation. Number 13, climate action. When we talk about water scarcity, people have inadequate access to water for irrigation in agricultural zones, which by extension limits food production and thereby exacerbating hunger and malnutrition. And that's SDG number 2. Also, rapid population growth and agricultural expansion increase water demand, leading to competition among users, including urban areas, agriculture, and industry. We have a case in point in Nigeria here where our rapid growth in population inhibits almost everything. But I see it as an opportunity, not as a challenge. I believe that we can all rally around if everybody puts his hand onto work. We can take the rapid growth in population as an opportunity for the country to grow. Just think about 1999 when this dispensation of the political dispensation came into being. We were half the population that we are today, half. We're 120 million people. Today we're about 230. I believe World Bank is here to confirm that, right? And it is also expected that by 2050, we'll almost be 400 million. Now 2050 is 25 years from today. 1999 is 26 years ago. And it felt like yesterday when I got elected into the House of Representatives in 1999. It seemed like yesterday, right? So it means 2050 is tomorrow. And we would have started getting prepared for 2050 last week, not even today. So how prepared are we to make sure that our water bodies, because what we are faced with today, the major monster out there is climate change. And how do we adapt to it? Because there is nothing we can do. It's nature. We can't do anything but to adapt to its effects and create climate-smart agriculture, create additional sources to cater for agricultural land. And one, and most important, is irrigation. And that is the only solution that we can see for today, is through from massive growth of a population like Nigeria and other African countries to have irrigation facilities. And we have, but due to lack of neglect, the lack of maintenance, we've been caught with our pants down, so to speak. And we have seen the effects of flooding. Yes, it's climate change, but at the end of the day, when you look deep inside, you will see lack of maintenance of water bodies and riverine areas. That is the main culprit of the flooding that we have around. Case in point, I was in Jigawa some few months ago, I think early last year, around Gurin, and I saw Hadejia River, and for the first time in 10 years, it has not flooded. And I asked why, and they showed me there was a delivery boat, a maintenance boat that was feeding a system of floating dredging barges with a collaboration between the Federal Ministry of Water Resources through the Hadejia-Jamari River Basin and that of the Jigawa State Government, where they bought 2 barges each, and they were draining and dredging the riverbed. The riverbed had gotten to as shallow as 1 meter, and they were dredging additional 1.5 meters, and on the sides, 10 meters on both sides. And they had gone 20 kilometers out of the 68 kilometers that they were going to do. And immediately, that also recovered the area. For the first time, they hadn't had any flooding in the 10 years, and exposed a vast agricultural potential land of over 20,000 hectares. And you could just imagine what that could do to the food security aspect of Nigeria. we're talking about increasing yield, we're talking about deficits in our food production. And I believe that is one way, if we really use our irrigation facilities, that would bring about the desired food security in the country. So we have a lot of infrastructure gaps. Today, I believe we are probably using only about, I'm not too sure where the Ministry of Water Resources, Federal Ministry of Water Resources may be tangible. The figures that we have is that we're using less than 5% of our available land and for agriculture, partly due to some of the issues that were raised by my friend and brother, Honorable Sada Soli, and partly due to even transboundary issues. I come from a boundary between Niger and Nigeria, and we have the Komadugu-Yobe system that runs into Lake Chad. And I remember some few years ago when that portion of the river was diverted into Niger, and that created a conflict between the two countries. It was a diplomatic issue, and that was later resolved. So these are things that I think we need to also look at. And then the other item is the issue of pollution and degradation of our river systems. Main culprit, I would say, is our farmers. And I'm here with the president of the All Farmers Association of Nigeria, Architect Kabir Umar. Rise up so that everybody will see the #1 farmer in the, well, I'm the #1, he's #2 farmer. No, point of correction. Mr. President is #1 farmer, I'm #2, and he's #3. So, but the excessive use and discriminate use of fertilizer and around water bodies and rivers also contribute to the degradation and the quality of the water. Commissioner of Water Resources, Borno State, is here, and he knows what I'm talking about. In fact, even there was an issue with Lake Alo, the dam that had a problem some few months ago. In those days, were a lot of farming activities around that lake, and the excessive use of fertilizer had also contributed to the quality, because that water also serves as an urban municipal water supply for both for drinking and otherwise. So really that had an impact on the quality of water supply into the municipal water system. At the same time also affected both flora and fauna that survive within that dam. So when we look at other areas that I believe that we can achieve some of those challenges and concerns, there are recommendations to effectively address the SDG goals with that of poverty, no poverty, zero hunger, clean water and sanitation, and climate action. We need to invest more in irrigation infrastructure and also maintain those that we have already. Then promote the efficient use of water. We have seen where we take water use for granted because it's available, not knowing that we should save and conserve water. I remember when we had, when we were doing the rural water supply, which I headed the first rural water supply agency. I was the first head in my state. Way back in 2005, and there was a standard by the World Bank that you require, I believe at that time, 100 liters per person per day, something similar. So, no, was it 20 or something? 50 liters or something. But what I did was, because of its availability, you find people using it, watering their gardens, washing their cars, washing their clothes, beyond the standard set by World Bank. So we had to use 100, because if you go and start using 50, 2 weeks later you will have shortage because of its availability. So I believe those are issues that we need to, integrate in our system so that we can promote efficient use of water, especially even in irrigation. We have seen places where, I'm not sure if, I think somebody from Egypt is supposed to be here. Yeah, from Egypt. I was there 2 months ago, and I've been to the Nile Delta, and I've seen the wonderful work you're doing in irrigation. Even though you have the big River Nile flowing, but a lot of their farming techniques now is drip irrigation, because 80%, 90% of your agriculture is irrigation in Egypt. So, but because of the availability, especially in the Nile Delta, of water, they looked at it and said, it will not last forever if you don't properly take care of and use it efficiently. And so you see a lot of drip irrigation and other sustainable land irrigation practices that are employed there. So also we need to enhance research and technology, strengthen our policy and governance. I'm sure this is what this event seeks to do, because we are getting feedback from continental bodies, from World Bank, from world bodies, from other partners, from friendly countries, to come up with policies so that we can really engage government to come up with this, our policy and governance in water usage. Community engagement and capacity building. Just let me ask one question. How many of us are from rural areas? How many? Let me see the figure. No, you know, there are some people that they will say they are from Lagos or they are from Ibadan, but rural areas, real rural areas. And when you see the hands now, you can see that we are the majority.
Some of us here.
Yes, Jibia. We are the majority. We feed 80% of Nigeria. 80% of Nigeria. And when you remember your community, your rural community, honestly, has it changed in the last, okay, let me come down, 40 years, because some may not be over 40, but I'm just looking at myself. I will say I can have vivid remembrance of my community 55 years ago. Has it really changed? Now, this is agriculture that contributes 28 to 30% of GDP. And 80% is produced in these our rural areas. And they have not changed. Their livelihoods really have not changed much. Somebody just mentioned, I think earlier, about the difference between urban areas and rural areas. And it hasn't changed. So where is all this money, all the food that we eat, all the money that we spend on food, where does it go to? Even if it goes to the rural areas, it hasn't shown any impact on the lives and livelihood of our people. They still are in that derelict state. They are still using an archaic tool, which is a hoe. I don't know if anyone knows of a factory in this world that manufactures a hoe, which is the #1 implement we use in agriculture in Nigeria today. Anyone? An industry, a factory. What does that tell you? That tells you that is a dinosaur, that is something that is of the dark ages. It's an implement that is manufactured in the corners, I would say in Hausa, lungu of farming communities, either by the local blacksmith or the wooden carver that makes the handle. But it's never done. If it's a good implement, you would find a factory, maybe somewhere in India or China, that will be manufacturing a hoe. But nobody is doing that. What does that tell you? And that is why President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has developed 4 different programs within the last 1 year for mechanization to aid in agricultural production. 2 are participatory programs that seeks to develop over 350,000 hectares each on mechanization that seeks to employ over 10,000 different systems, whether it's tractorization, whether it's harvester, whether it's implements, so as to aid in the mechanization program. One is called the GIP, which has been in the works for the past 7 years, that has never seen the light until now, that was signed just recently between the FGV of Brazil and the Nigerian government. That is almost €1 billion program, 950 million euros to be precise, and which seeks to also attract additional $4 billion over the next 5 years. The second one is called the Greener Hope. The Greener Hope also seeks to, in one aspect, develop 150,000 hectares, 25,000 hectares in each geopolitical zone, 15,000 in the anchor state, and 2,000 hectares in the remaining 5 states of that geopolitical zone. That also seeks to employ about 10,000 different implements, from tractors to harvesters to bulldozer for land clearing, and so on and so forth. Then the other 2 programs are purely procurement programs. One is the procurement of 2,000 John Deere tractors. John Deere is, of course, as you all know, is an American agricultural equipment manufacturer. And then another one is 2,000 Belarus tractors. That also, for each of the tractor will come with a trailer, with a plow, with harrow, with a seeder, and a ridger. And the other one has additional boom sprayer. So we're looking at total of about 2,000 tractors with 4 additional, which makes up about 8,000. So you're looking about over 10,000 implements as well. So I'm happy to announce that we have received 600 of those tractors from Belarus, as it is here in Abuja. And I'm sure President was right there when they came to brief us that they would finish the delivery by May. So, but we are saying that we are still lagging behind, but we will soon, because rains have started in some places, and we're going to deploy some of these tractors as soon as Mr. President launches those tractors. So let me not take too much of your time. I know I was told that there is a program this evening, and I wouldn't want to waste too much time. So the other one is access to financing. This is a major impediment in the whole thing that we're doing, but that too, I'm happy and also proud to announce that Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has approved the recapitalization of the Bank of Agriculture to the tune of 1,500,000,000 naira, which is equivalent to $1 billion, and that has never happened in the 50-year history of that bank at a single time for that recapitalization. And that also is in the works, and I believe that we should deploy this to the benefit of our teeming farmers. Another major issue that we have in terms of both, and I hope we're going to work with the Federal Ministry of Water Resources to draw up a verifiable database. You will agree with me today, you will find a farmer without a farmland. A lot. We have seen some programs that have really failed because there's a farmer but no farmland. So what we're doing now is we're going to do it differently. We identify the farmland first, and the farmland that is cultivated, not empty farmland, not dust, no. cultivated farmland and then attach the farmer and grab his data. So we're going to have primary data and secondary data. Secondary data in terms of soil health, the type of crops, and the area and location of that particular farmland. And I'm happy we're going to soon reach out to the river basins that have a huge data and huge available arable land so that we can work together and make sure that whatever intervention government is doing is getting to directly to the farmer. Where, I'm sorry, some partners here look at the farmer as the last mile. They say getting to the last mile. I have a different perspective. I believe that the farmer is the first mile, and that is where we're supposed to start. So in conclusion, I wish us well, and we want to thank everyone that has come from far and near, and not like, in the past when meetings like this has come to an end and then we push some of the outcomes to the side. I think we need to develop this to the next level and make sure that it's workable and make sure that it's worked. And then let's not forget monitoring outcomes of such events for whatever items that we suggest or plan, so that we know precisely what are the real outcomes. Because this is very key. We find data that is out there that is sample data. We're not really getting the real outcomes, and I believe we need to sit down and look at it. So I may suggest that the organizers of this particular program to make sure that maybe it's going to be 6 months, every year, biannually, or whatever you think you can do. And I forgot, I wanted to mention the issue of the CADEP, the continental, the Comprehensive African Agricultural Development Program. It's in its 3rd session next year. We have had the Malabo, the Maputo, and now we have the Kampala that will be from 2026 to 2035, which also seeks to address those issues contained in the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations. That has been passed by the African heads of states, and it will take effect. And we just set up yesterday the Agricultural Working Group to address the issues contained in CADEP. And all of you here are represented, World Bank and AU and ECOWAS and everybody. So thank you very much. And once again, I apologize for coming in late on this confusion. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Go down.
Oh,
okay,
go down?
Let's have one up like this. Let's come.
Yeah? Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Ready?
You want to cut?
Should I cover that?
Okay.
It didn't come up with any. All right, thank you very much. I think we can go on with a discussion while the minister felicitate with friends and felicitate with people. All right, we will still hit it, and then the questions will just come direct now to specific people. All right, thank you very much. Right. Okay. Yes, one second question, but this time I'm going to just identify who answers so that, yes. And MBA, please prepare. All right, thank you, House. Thank you for your patience. I'm sure you enjoyed his speech. He has given us a lot of hope and a lot of assurance that our nation, Nigeria particularly, is on course, and what we are doing here today really have a place in the future of agriculture and food security in Nigeria. Once again, can we just exercise our hands with a good clap? Thank you. We want to appreciate you for your patience, and we will still be able to get through with all our questions. All right, so I want to look at transboundary water management issues, collaboration among African countries. Please, the representative of the minister from Egypt, and then the MBA man who is sitting right beside you. Please, you help me look at this. Sorry. What are the issues around transboundary water governance across Africa? And how can these issues be harnessed to improve irrigation development? What are the key issues? How can they be harnessed to improve irrigation? Thank you. MBA?
Should I?
Yeah. Okay, you can choose to start.
As we all know, there are potential for working together in water governance in the continent. For all riparian states, we need to build stronger institutions, stronger inclusive institutions.
Very good.
We need also, very crucial, is to build trust and ensure coordinated political will. In order to cope with the continental challenges, we need to move from a mindset of competition to one of cooperation and benefit sharing. We need to foster joint planning of irrigation projects. We need to achieve policy harmonization and capacity building. Capacity building is a key issue in the continent. We have different experiences in every place, but we need to share these experiences and we learn from each another. We need to make use for continental or basin-wise frameworks. In conclusion, I would say improving transboundary water governance is crucial for peace and security, and this will help us to achieve the SDG goals and secure a better future for all African people.
Thank you very much. Yeah, MBA, what are these issues?
No, the issues are multiple, as you know. And I think on the Niger Basin axis, we are facing the issue of insecurity, which is very, very key, and also the issue of strengthening cooperation among member countries. And if I talk on cooperation, we have to build a good framework in terms of policy. Here I can highlight that since 2008, we have established a water charter which accompany the member countries in all what they are doing in terms of water resources management. And in this water charter, I think it is help bringing countries together to develop the water resources management in the basin. And also the problem of financing. Financing issue is a key challenge in the governance. And in NBA, we are looking for how the basin can sustain with the contribution of member countries to establish a fund, which is climate adaptation fund, to address all the development in terms of the development of the basin. Thank you very much.
Thank you. While he was responding to the question, the representative of the Executive Secretary, the Lake Chad Basin Commission, walked in. Yes, you're welcome. I hope I got that right. Good. Thank you very much. Please, I want to ask the ambassador in the house, Ambassador Yisa, and I will also be glad if the African Union Commission can also respond to this. How can country balance between national interest with the need for regional cooperation in transboundary water management in Africa if we must achieve SDG goal? Thank you. Ambassador, please, and then AU. Yes. Let's use this for now.
Thank you. Thank you very much. As earlier stressed by many of those on this panel, everybody needs water. Every country needs water. And we must all realize that just like Nigeria needs water, Niger also needs water. Just like Egypt needs water, Ethiopia, Sudan, they also need water, right? So what should we do to avoid conflicts? We must all be ready to give and take. It's not you having it all. You have to consider those who are downstream or downriver, that they also need this water. If you are building a dam for power generation, you must think that there are people downstream who also need to use that water for irrigation. So it's cooperation that is the key. We have to cooperate with ourselves. And the way to go about it is, don't wait until you have started a project on the river that runs through your country. You must inform your neighbors who are downstream that, look, we need to do this. We need to do this to generate power. We need to do this dam for our irrigation facilities. And you discuss and dialogue. You don't wait until your project is ready and then the other person will start complaining. At that point, it will be difficult to resolve the issues that are there.
Thank you, sir.
We all need this facility. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, African Union Commission.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I think let me also align with the last two speakers. Yeah, if we're talking about transboundary water, it's actually development infrastructure. And it is unfortunate that there are some issues coming up relating to conflict. This water has been with us for ages. The river bodies, the water bodies have been there. We have not had issues of conflict. But what we should flag is the issue of inclusion. There's a need for inclusion, and like my brother just said, also need for information sharing. We must plan to develop together. I think that is where we should go. And also let's minimize external influences. If you have two countries that they are neighbors, they have been staying together, living together for years, they have been managing issues together. So suddenly it will not be, you must look at what is really happening, that now that country A is saying no, country B say no. And I think that is the reason why the rivers and lake basins organizations, they were actually formed to strengthen regional integration in terms of transboundary water use. So until we see transboundary water as development infrastructure for us to co-develop and also share resources and benefits, we will not progress. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that. Please, I would like Honorable House of Rep member, and then I would also like the water law expert to please quickly just respond to this. Are there legal lacunas around transboundary water governance in Africa? If yes, what are they and what can be done to fill these gaps? Maybe from you first, Mama. Are there gaps? Are there lacunas?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, moderator, because I was itching to speak. This is actually my field. Of course, there are lacunas in transboundary water management in Africa. Like I started with the SDG goal, operational arrangement, find so many river basins without framework of cooperation. Like I enjoyed the speaker before the last one when he said the key word is cooperation. But you cannot cooperate in vacuum because law gives certainty and predictability to regulation. You cannot regulate without framework, without law. And so if you are talking about countries cooperating in a river basin without a treaty, without an agreement, it's very difficult. Because the treaties, the water treaties, defines what we are dealing with here. You know, say obligation of countries. Because in the water treaty, we have all the principles laid down. The substantive principles, the no harm rule, equitable obligations, information regarding planned measure. So when a country wants to initiate a project, how many days of information, how many days of informing either the basin institution or other countries is required? It's stated in the law. So what I am advocating here is that we should have a form of framework, cooperation, and because that will take away conflicts. It will not take it away entirely, but it will actually minimize it because countries are bound by international law because water law is a branch of law that is aligned to international law. That is, it's a law that governs agreement between nations. And this one has to do with transboundary water. And so when countries agree, they are bound under the principle of pacta sunt servanda. Whatever you agree, you are bound to comply with. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Lisa, Honorable House of Rep member.
I think most of the issues have been addressed, but since we're talking about transboundary water resources governance, the key issue is inclusive collaborations.
That's right.
And then you have to have reflective legislations. Reflective legislations in the sense that legislations must be accepted by the adjoining boundaries. Like the issue of the Renaissance Dam in Ethiopia. It was quite an issue because there was no reflective legislation between Ethiopia and Egypt, and then it has to bring some international organization before the issue has been settled. So these are some of the issues. Reflective legislations are very important, then inclusive collaborations are very important in order to have workable transboundary water governance in Africa.
Thank you very much. Please, can we just, if you put your hand together, it will make you. Okay. Okay. Please, the minister from Egypt will want to say something on this too. You have the floor.
If you allow me, I believe in the beginning we need to help ourselves to believe that this balance between the national and riparian or basin interest is possible. Because in many cases, when you discuss with someone, you feel like he is not convinced that this is possible. We need to redefine our national interest through shared benefits. I like too much the discussion before with my colleagues here in the podium. It is very clear that we need to build trust between each another. Coordinated actions are very much important. Even this has to be reflected in the financing of the project. I mean, financing coordinated projects are very essential. Also, to promote benefit sharing, not only water sharing. We can help each other to have different benefits from the same water or from the same project. We need, again, to fill the gap. I mean, maybe in my opinion, I'm not an expert in the legislation concerning transboundary water, but I would say we need to somehow stick to the international law and to help each other to have a commitment between different countries for this law. Working together is only the possible way, hand by hand. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, please permit me to roll fast. I want to look at issue of funding, scale. Sorry, maybe we can run fast.
Just an experience I want to share. I would like to share an experience on this issue of transboundary water governance in terms of infrastructure construction. Today in Niger Basin Authority, we are on the process of constructing a dam in Upper Niger, which is Fumi Dam in Guinea. The Fumi Dam, it is in Guinea. It is to give for the purpose of electricity. But downstream in Mali, we have a big irrigation scheme, which is called Niger Office du Niger. Today, Mali and Guinea accepted to share the costs of the construction of this dam for common benefits for the two countries, because they know that building a dam on it is a tributary for Niger, that is they call it Sankarani, and building that dam can regulate, that is the flow during low flow season, to get water for irrigation posts that downstream in Mali. And it is possible because the water charter, which is all the annexes, permit it, and all the member countries has accepted. That is, they can go for a common project between Mali, Nigeria and Niger. Why couldn't say that we are going to build Kandaji together and share the common, that is benefit? It is possible. Is that the only way? Because of how to get the money, it is with the donors. And sometimes, you know how all this issue of having the mobilizing all the fund with all the procedure that you have to get. That is what I want to say.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Please permit me to go into the issue of funding, scales, and spread of irrigation and drainage infrastructure. I think the last respondent have already started talking about funding. FAO, you are very good at statistics. I want to ask you, in your view, is the state of spread vis-a-vis funding of irrigation and drainage infrastructure in Africa? Is the state of spread vis-a-vis funding of irrigation and drainage in Africa, is it adequate? And what are the challenges? And what must we begin to do to address this? The World Bank also will respond to this. What's the scale? What is the spread? I guess you have the statistics, FAO, they are good at that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Irrigation
and drainage infrastructure.
Yes.
The spread vis-a-vis funding.
First, we now irrigate 6%
only of
the whole potential on Africa.
Wow.
So you can imagine that 93% of African farmers rely on rain-fed irrigation. So one would really wonder whether we are even making irrigation as, let's say, as important as it should be with this 6%. then when we come to the spray of infrastructure against funding, you may recall in Africa, it is only in 70s and 80s, during the single party era, that when all the main schemes in Africa were developed. And now the funding is rather, most of the time, with the multiple parties, it's on rehabilitation. A big percentage of the funding goes on rehabilitation of those schemes that were developed in 70s and 80s. Very few portion is coming on new infrastructure. So the situation might be the quick win problem. Some people want to have whatever they can achieve during their tenure. And you know, a big infrastructure of 10,000, 20,000 hectares, where it is possible, it requires years. And then at the end of the term, toward the end of the term, one will be still in studies, nothing to show on the ground. This hinders the initiation of the new infrastructure. And the quick wins goes by showing that we have developed that scheme which was not being done. And then we get, if we go in details and then try to see, some schemes have been rehabilitated 2-3 times. And we have recently said it is expensive, $10,000 per hectare, even for rehabilitation. So some schemes are standing at $60,000 per hectare because of rehabilitation after rehabilitation. So it is quite problematic. We have that challenge. But the other challenges are we don't have much of data. Even for new schemes. We don't have really much, we don't know much. When we talk about the flooding which passed, how much water did pass here? No one knows. So we cannot really plan for that one. And then another challenge is there is data problem, but there is a human resource problem. Some countries do have. Nigeria, you do have so many engineers. But when we look at I'm talking about continental wise. Some countries don't have that much. There was a time, I'm talking because I'm Rwandan, when I started working, we were only 5 engineers in irrigation. So it's a problem. But the policies also is a problem.
Okay,
we have a problem on the policies.
Would you mind the World Bank would just respond to this too, so save the time? Thank you. Thank you.
I can pick it directly from my
Yes.
colleagues from FAO on policy, right? I think what we see is that these schemes, and which can be very capital expensive, right? We have high capital cost, $10,000, $15,000 per hectare, some even higher if you have headworks in storage, water storage. But these need to be integrated in a strategy, an integrated strategy for food production for the country. So that what we see, and indeed we are struggling to find data, at this point we are being aided by modern technology. We have remote sensing, we are able to see certain things that maybe on-the-ground data might not be able to provide to us. But so we can see the trends. What schemes have been built, when have they been built, how they are being used. Are they being used? Are they being abandoned? Because we want to stop that vicious cycle of invest, deplete, or dilapidate and reinvest. Because then indeed we need to focus then on operations and maintenance. And how do you pay for operations and maintenance? You need to invest in, productivity. so that farmers can afford the services that come with irrigation.
Thank you very much.
Thank
and
you.
Please, I want to come to Mark Smith. When it comes to funding, please, who is doing what? And who should do more in terms of funding for irrigation infrastructure in Africa? Who do you think should do more? And I'll be glad to if the president of ICID could also add his voice to this. Who should do more? Where do we get the money from? Thank you.
Let me take us. Thank you. A slightly different angle on that question. So, who should be financing? Where should the funds come from? And why don't they flow? And I would posit that there's a number of things that we need to bear in mind when we look at that question. And one of those things, one place to start, and one of the areas of work that we do in IMI, is to know where should the funding flow. So how can we deliver the data and analysis needed to help direct the financing to where it's going to bring the most benefits and returns? Alongside that, asking, well, what are the risks that financing institutions that the sources of finances face? How do we help reduce those risks, either through the structure of the financing, the model of the financing, but also putting in place governance for irrigation that will help overcome some of the challenges that we've heard of? How do we put in place the management of the climatic risks, floods, droughts, and so on, that farmers face? How do we make sure that we're looking far enough ahead to future climate risks? And so therefore, financing is one thing. Where does the money come from? Who's providing it? But making sure that we're putting around that the information and data that both the financing, the sources of finance, but also the farmers will need to make this successful. And then I would pick up on something that the Honourable Minister said about farmers being the first mile, not the last mile. And so when we're looking at financing for infrastructure, and this is part of one of your questions as well, what's the balance between small-scale, farmer-focused infrastructure and large-scale infrastructure? And I think if we bear in mind that issue of farmers are the first mile, the different components that need to come together to make financing successful, that applies equally to small-scale infrastructure, climate-proofing small-scale infrastructure, directing finance to where projects built around farmer-led irrigation, where they can be successful, where the risks can be managed in appropriate ways, where the different actors can come together who need to come together from public and private sector to deliver success.
Thank you.
And I think how to do that has been highlighted by a number of sessions that I've been part of in this conference. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Please, ICID President, please, let's hear your voice on this matter.
Yes, thank you. Of course, if we're talking of large-scale irrigation schemes, primary actor should be the government. But let me be frank for a moment. We all know that in Africa, because we are in Africa, we're in Nigeria, not many governments have this huge financial capability. Why? Because of the debt. So I think that first thing that should be taken into consideration is to alleviate the pressure of debt that these countries are having such a long time. If that is faced, then of course the primary actor can be the governments, because they are in charge of financing large-scale infrastructures for irrigation. And of course there's a lot that can be done on the private sector side. Again, donors will be more willing to invest if the risk of their investment, of the money they are putting in, will be lower. And this, of course, again, can be alleviated if the general financial debt situation is improved. So it's all consequential somehow, something that is coming one after the other. And of course, there's the PPP, the private-public partnership, that can be playing a pivotal role on this. There's the Lead Farmer Initiative. I had the chance a few days ago with the young professional to visit a very interesting example of lead farm initiative. There's a farm close to Kefi, about 1.5 hours from here, from Abuja. They are building their own reservoir. They have built their own storage facilities. They are autosufficient for the production of energy. So there's so many things that can be done, but in my way of seeing things, I think that the primary things has to be dealing with the issue of the debt situation. And of course, there's also so much else. I could talk for so long about financial services and the innovation, diversifying the funds, but that's my vision.
Thank you very much. Please, Ambassador Isa, please, between large and small scale water infrastructure for irrigation, where should Africa lay emphasis to achieve the water influence SDG goal? I take you back there. Between large scale and small scale, which way do we go?
Thank you very much, Prof. Before I address that, let me talk a bit, just maybe one sentence, on funding irrigation infrastructure. First of all, let me say that nobody should look up to donor countries to finance irrigation infrastructure for your country. You should make money available for irrigation infrastructure. Supposing you have a crazy president somewhere, you say, okay, we built this dam for you. We'll bomb it because you are not obeying our directives. And it could happen, right? That is one. Two, we must, because we've said it here, that water is needed for power generation. Water is needed for agriculture. Water is needed for consumption. All those agencies, ministries involved in power generation, in food production, in water supply, they have to come together to build these dams. And that is why the issue of multipurpose dams will come into play there. That you cannot build a dam solely for irrigation. We have to share the water, the use of the water. And that way, maybe the costs of construction will not fall only on one agency or ministry of government. If it's shared, that is on that. Then, what I advocate as regards large or small dams is, we've had dam constructions that have lasted almost forever in Nigeria. 30 years. The dam is still under construction. 30 years. Because you have put in the budget 18 billion, for example, naira for the dam construction, for the construction of the dam. And every year you put 200 or 400 million naira. That is bad investment. You are tying down small amount of money, and the dam is taking forever for construction. So we should strive to build large dams, but we must also build small dams that will address a small community in terms of water supply, even in terms of power generation. Small dams.
That's right.
I know of a state, for example, in Nigeria, that in a year identified 60 rivers that could be dammed, small dams, for provision of irrigation water and for small power plants development. I think that synergy can work. You don't only rely on large dams. Do also small dams. We have many rivers in this country and across Africa. So we can do a good mix, and the small-scale farmers will also be catered for because they have a small dam that supplies water to their farms within their vicinity, and so on and so forth.
Thank you. In a few minutes, I'm going to be coming to the audience. We would like to hear your voice. We would like to hear your contribution in some of these questions, but permit me to run. I think I did also ask somebody else to respond to that. AU, small dams, large dams.
Yeah, thank you. I'm sure you.
If you hit
I'm sure
shortly,
you know. Yeah, thank you very much, Chair. I'm sure you know where we stand in this.
Yeah.
The emphasis should be on smallholder. So at the AU level, there is a caution to member states. Good, you can renovate, you can refurbish, but constructing large dams, there is need for caution. So let's focus on smallholder, what the farmer can manage, and you target the market. Thank you.
Okay, FAO, you want to say something about that?
Yeah, thank you. Very quickly. You say the first, between large and small scale water infrastructure irrigation, where should the Africa lie emphasis? No, this is not about small scale or large scale. Everything should be done, but who is to do it?
Yeah.
Small scale is for the farmers, large scale is for the private investors.
Okay.
We need sugar. We are importing sugar from outside the continent. Yet you have enough land, we have enough water, you can do sugar. Private companies can produce massive sugar. That is only one example. Now in Burkina Faso, they are growing wheat. Egypt is growing wheat in the desert where it is that hot and with the water scarce. What about other countries? But private investors can come in. And then here comes on the financial, where we need foreign direct investment, which is outside the donor system. But still possible. There is money outside there. People need to have food, and Africa has the land and the water. Many. So when you come then to multipurpose dams, I will not talk much on that one because we don't have much time. But let's think about also multi-use of water. Not only multi-purpose of dam, but multi-use of water. When water has been producing electricity, why not directly using it for agriculture? Because electricity will have a steady flow. The dam from electricity will have a steady flow. That water is guaranteed, is there, available. We can have it for agriculture. We can have the dam reservoir to produce fish. So then. So I stop here, but there are much to do. Thank you.
I'm sure you want to respond to that.
No, it's not actually a response. I'd just like to add a comment regarding the dams. You were asking about what is the best option, large dams, small-scale dams, and so on. If I remember correctly, in Nigeria, there are more than 400 dams. And more than half of these are largely not operative.
Yeah.
Because of many reasons, many issues, and so I wonder whether it could be the case. Could be the case of trying to rehabilitate some of these or implementing some of these schemes before, because I think the general concern now, building new dams, is always a great adventure. So I just like to add a comment on this, that maybe it could be worthwhile considering rehabilitating or completing in some cases, because I know the dam is there, but there's no irrigation scheme laying behind underground. So I think this is also something we should be considering.
Okay. DG, Amy.
Yeah, I'd just like to add on this point. When we think of multi-purpose dams, of course, implicit in that is that when we manage water, when we develop infrastructure, we have multiple objectives. So what I want to encourage people to think about, the way to think about this problem, this question, is not just should we build a dam, but what's the portfolio of infrastructure that we need to meet the multiple objectives that we have? Food, energy, conservation, urban water supply, etc. So think in terms of the portfolio, and that might include large dams, small dams, includes the river itself, it includes the wetlands and the water that they store and the other things that they provide, fish, etc., the groundwater. And there are, we have the capabilities now to be able to make those assessments of what we term multi-sector solutions across portfolios of infrastructure, to give a set of choices for decision makers that says, if we have this combination of objectives, here's a set of options built on a portfolio approach to infrastructure that might open alternative choices, alternative sets of decisions beyond should we build this dam or not build this dam, bringing a wider lens to the problem. And we can do that now. There's good means and capabilities and tools and analytical techniques to do that.
That's right. Yeah. Okay, Egypt. Minister of Egypt, you want to respond to this?
I was hesitating to share a funny story. Maybe it has any reflection in the topic. I would tell you that 20 years ago I was doing my PhD in Germany, and the first lesson they started with me to explain how to build houses that is done by clay, to build house using clay. And I was wondering, I was coming to Germany to learn the most recent modern technology, and they started with me how to build a small house using clay, and we were going in the street and collect mud, and we were building. But after some time I got the message that maybe we should learn from our nature, from our people. There are many interesting projects we are practicing to save water and to consume less water, especially for rice cultivation. These we were copying from the Egyptian farmers. They were blocking the drainage. Yes, we work together with them to improve the situation. The message I need to convey that sometimes in our countries, people, they are trying to catch the most expensive modern technology. Maybe then we need first to think what is possible that we can do on our own. Maybe some results can be achieved in a very cheap manner. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Okay. Okay. Just it will come to you, and then we'll cap it up with the World Bank. You will say something about that. I guess the water law, you want to say something, and then we'll come to the audience. Thank you.
I think to choose between building a large dam or multipurpose dam, we don't have a choice to do. All targets their own objectives. And the main things that we have to think, it is what is the source of water? Because it's not just to build a dam. You have to get the data, real data, to know that the building of that dam, it will be sustainable. Because we have been experiencing some countries that are building dam, big dam, but up to 20 years, it has never been filled. It is a waste of money. Because just I want to do without gathering the necessary data to build a dam which is going to be sustainable and it will target the issue. So at the regional level, we are that is encouraging a multipurpose dam to get all the facilities of getting food, getting energy, and also having, that is the ecosystem life up that downstream. Okay. So it is good to have all the necessary data to do it. That is.
Right,
yeah.
Richard,
thank you, Chairman, for giving me the floor, moderator, and thank you also for panelists for sharing their knowledge and experience on this issue of large dam, small dam. We, yes, at the LCBC, we are not on the issue of constructing large dam, small dam. We already have a natural dam, which is the lake. Yeah. So what we do at the LCBC, how can we revitalize this, like to bring it at its level of 1960? So what we are doing is how can we improve the hydraulic capacity of the major tributary of the lake? These are the Shari Logon and the Komadugu-Yobe system. Because yesterday we have discussion, most of the dam we are having on the Komadugu-Yobe system are silted, are now at their low designing capacity. So instead of saying constructing dam, we need to, how can we improve hydraulic capacity of those systems by either stabilizing the major channel of these tributaries or by dredging of those rivers. So in LCBC, in collaboration with its member country and the African Development Bank, are developing a project on improving the hydraulic capacity of River Shari and Komadugu-Yobe system. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. World Bank, and then
thank you.
Tell me more.
So I think the colleagues have really covered everything, but one point that I really felt strongly about is that obviously we have climate change, we have these extreme weather events, we have prolonged droughts, we have very bad floods. Can you hear me? No?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. All right, so very long, prolonged droughts, bad floods. So storage can be one way of dealing with this, but storage alone, a dam and a reservoir, cannot be the solution. We need to take care of the problem holistically, look at the land management, how we manage the basin, we prevent soil erosion, because if we don't do that, the storage capacity will very rapidly decline. We see it's a big problem here in West Africa. So having that holistic approach will also help us extend, go further with each and every dollar. Right? These investments are extremely expensive. We want to make sure they last for a very long time and they can benefit as many people as possible.
Thank you.
So we need to take that into account in a much more holistic way.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please, the water law expert, please, as you respond, I would like you to help me to address this. Are there policies addressing private sector involvement in transboundary water issues in Africa? Then the Honorable will also respond to this. All right, please go ahead.
Thank you, Prof.
Just a few minutes so
thank you so much.
Hear from the audience.
Talking about these multipurpose dams, you raised the question, do Africa actually need them? Yes, we do. For irrigation, for power generation, domestic water supply. We need the dams, but we have to do the right things in the river basin, particularly when it comes to transboundary water. You see, it still takes us back to governance. The governance puts control to what we do in the river basin. So we have the principles of international water law applicable, particularly the proper impact assessment has to be done under the procedural obligations. For you to do anything on that basin, there has to be, any project requires proper impact assessment. And then you decide the ban on significant harm. What the benefits, does it outweigh the harm It's not as if there won't be any harm at all on that dam, on that basin, concerning the dam, on the river, on the states that are affected. But you look at the benefits of the project of the dam. Does it outweigh the harm? Or does the harm outweigh the benefits? Then you decide to stop or to go ahead.
Right. Issue of policy relating to private sector.
Then the issue of policies in addressing is so limited, so fragmented. We don't have direct policies addressing private sector investment in transboundary waters in Africa. We have here World Bank, we have AU, ECOWAS, SADC, here and there. Then we have the river basin policies too, that attract private sector investment under the principle of public participation in governance, under the principle of subsidiarity in international water law. Yes, but we don't have harmonized policy. So, like, we need to have some form of harmonized policy that attracts private sector investment in our transboundary waters. We see that the waters are actually colonized. I don't want to use the word colonized, but the Basin Commission, actually, they are the ones in charge, in control. They are the ones that decide what anybody does there. And then we have here and there World Bank policy, we have AU, we have this, we have that. They are not harmonized. We need to harmonize them. Okay. Because the more private sector investment you have under an organized system, the better. Thank you.
All right. Please, sir, we'll hear your response, and probably that can be one big take-home, assuring us that you will go back to the House of Rep and then push from Nigeria across Africa. Please, sir. Let's hear from you.
I think with due respect to the last speaker, we do have various policies and frameworks that have been established to address private sector investment in transboundary water resources. She mentioned about the AU framework. That is a very, very elaborate AU framework that will provide the private sector the platform to make a rewarding investment in the water sector. There is the regional economic commissions like the ECOWAS, like the SADC. There is the Nile Basin Initiative. It's also a brilliant initiative that will give a good framework for private sector investment in the water sector. I'm sure my colleague from Egypt will verify that, because there is a huge investment in water sector in Egypt. Then there is the African Water Vision 2025. Is another framework and policy that would provide a private sector to invest. I think because of the risks in the sector, probably that is what is driving investors.
Okay, sorry, sir. Let me just add this because of time. Yes, these frameworks are there, but the issue is, maybe as you answer, you may have to also add this. How encompassing and harmonious are these framework and policies?
Well, because of their jurisdictions, most of these things, they are from different jurisdictions.
Okay.
For them to be harmonized is extremely going to be very difficult, but attempt can be made in terms of getting them inclusive, whereby you will have a continuous effort in order to create policy coherence.
Yeah.
Policy coherence is the key in order to, but it's difficult to harmonize this because they are coming from different jurisdictions. Like the international framework. How do you harmonize international framework with the AU framework? How do you harmonize the Nile Basin Initiative with AU framework? But the key issue, how you can have harmonious juncture is to have policy coherence.
Thank you very much. Okay, I'm going to come to the audience now. They've sat patiently and they've been listening to us. I think it is good to give them time, opportunity. We want to either hear from you, either questions or response, and we hope to be tuning this down by 5:30 so that we can get prepared for the closing event. All right, I'm going to give numbers so that we can quickly do it. Prof. Sir, you're number 1. Yes, ma. Oh, that is our sister. Okay, good. I promise to give you opportunity to, yes. So please come. Okay, we can give you the mic there. What do you prefer? I want to make you number 1. Give her the mic there, that's right. Or, okay, let's get done with questions for now. Okay, we'll come to you, but let me get done with question. Yes, so Prof, number 1, number 2, number 3. Oh, okay, Daddy, number 4, don't worry. Sir, number 5. I think we should hold it at that. So 1, Engineer Shishe 2, Dr. Babura 3, Adadi here 4, and you 5. Let's hold it there for now quickly, and then please let's be straight to the question. Please, yes. Oh, where is the usher? Come, pick this mic and then take it round. Okay, let's allow Baba to start.
Please permit me to sit. Yeah. Please permit me to sit for some health reasons. In all this, we started, Professor Adeniji. Yes. My observation, well, I don't want to call it a question, but you can frame it that way. In all these that we've been talking about, dams, whether multi-purpose, whether single purpose, we seem to have left out one component: the farmer themselves. There's not enough emphasis in what we've been talking, both at this level that we, or even since the conference started. I think there is a need, in my view, to get the primary beneficiaries of this development involved in a lot of the discussion. It is when we have problems in a particular project that we seem to now try and find out how, the effect on the farmers themselves. I think at various stages there is a need, in my view, to get the farmers who are going to be benefiting from it fully involved and contribute. They know a lot more than we think. I'm sure experience from other places and even from here, a lot of things that we think they don't know, I think they do. I think there's a need, if we incorporate their thinking, their opinion, their views about what we're about to do in our planning, we are likely to have a little less problem that we have right now. That is my thinking. Thank you.
Thank you very much, the moderator and the chairman. Mine actually is not a question, but it's a comment by way of emphasis of some of the key points that have been raised here. But they have not been linked to what we always try to emphasize in terms of sustainability. We have to emphasize some of the pre-development activities that ensure sustainability. These pre-development activities were mentioned here, which included these levels of cooperation, inclusive cooperation between neighboring countries, And of course, the concept of sharing costs and benefits. These are key issues that need to be emphasized before a project is even thought of in development, so that we can ensure sustainability of the projects, not the question of whether it is large or small dam. And the issue of choosing whether it's large or small dam actually does not even arise. It all depends on the level at which you are carrying out the development activity. If you are carrying out a development activity at a local level, you are not even thinking of large-scale dams. You are thinking of small-level dams like our father said at the beginning. You are looking at the beneficiaries, the farmers themselves that will benefit directly. So it is very important to emphasize the issue of the benefits and the cost-sharing exercises. Also on the issue of sustainability, these concepts of proper operation and maintenance, I don't know whether anybody has mentioned it here. It needs to be emphasized. Yesterday we had a submission in one of the technical papers where somebody studied some of the hydraulic or parameters of a certain dam somewhere in Nigeria here that was constructed in 1974. At that time, the dam capacity was 16 million cubic meters. But after about 45 years, 50 years, that's in 2024, the dam capacity has reduced to only 22% of the original value. But what was the effect? He said the area coverage by the water flood has increased just because of sedimentation. And it means that since the construction of that dam, there has never been any maintenance activity. And the dam storage is silting up, and all the water that is being collected is spreading around the area. And the dangers there have not yet been studied. We don't know what is likely to happen in the next few years. So issue of proper maintenance and operation is really key, rather than the question of large or small. And then the issue of harmonized policies. Like one of the contributors mentioned, it is very difficult to harmonize policies that come from different jurisdictions. Only thing is that you can even see a typical example here in Nigeria. We tried to have a harmonized water resources policy, and it was up to now, over a period of maybe 10, 15 years, it has not yet been passed. This is because of different perspectives from different stakeholders. So to think of having a harmonized policy across continents, across the continent, is very, very difficult. So we should be thinking of local for the global effects. Thank you very much.
All right, number 3, Engineer Latimer, please, can we just do it in 1 minute? If it's a question, ask straight. If
Good evening, everybody.
1 minute.
My name is Engineer Latimer Muhib, the Vice Chairman, NINSEED, private sector. My own area of concentration or submission is in politics. Our politicians believe too much in developing, giving machines, giving this, giving that to the electorate. But I'm not saying that is not bad. That may be good in one way. But let them go a little step further to immortalize their names in their constituencies. They put legacies that will last long in respect of themselves. Number 2, we concentrate too much at the center, at the federal. Let us de-emphasize too much of federal government presence in everything we do. We have the states, we have the local governments, and these are supplementary arms of government that can assist in the development of water resources and irrigation, to be specific. So another area is bureaucracy.
Okay, one more point.
Funds are not released timely and in the quantum required to complete projects. Most of the we are not interested in building big and large dams anymore. We have so many of them in Nigeria. I'm being specific now about Nigeria. Let us complete those ones that are abandoned Let us put them to use. Let us, go on bottom-up approach to development.
Thank you.
I think this will go a long way to the development of...
Number 4, just seated beside him.
My name is...
And I will have one more, number 5, and we'll be done.
My own is just a contribution. It's not a question. You see, for over 50 years, we have a number of dams. Most of them are not well maintained. Therefore, when we talk of their sustainability, that's why the issue of this farmer participation comes in. For example, if you go to some of the large-scale...
Sorry, sir, can you be fast at it? We don't have the time, so please just hit it quickly, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm concerned with, let's have more small-scale irrigation facilities.
Small scale?
Small scale.
Okay.
Just as what we call farmer-led irrigation scheme. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Number 5, quickly. Yes. And after that, okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Professor Bartali, Vice President of the Moroccan National Committee of ICID.
Right.
Regarding this transboundary rivers, I wanted to mention that in the...
Can you give him, please give him that other mic.
I wanted to mention that at the 9th World Water Forum that took place in Dakar in 2023, the Hassan II Prize for the Water Forum was given to the High Authority for the Management of Senegal River because of the exemplary work they have done, Mali, Senegal, and Mauritania. So there are now hydro-economical models that can be used to share water and benefits between countries. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please, can we give our sister the mic? Please, can you make your contribution from there? And please, 2 minutes, and then we'll be done.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Nargis Zohrabi, Associated Professor in Islamic Azad University in Iran, and I want to share some points about the question you asked the panelists and some comments, not only in governance and policy, but also in different aspects that we have faced in water sector with negotiation in other sector. To save time, I write from my paper. At first, I think we need a strengthening resource governance and management through inclusive participation. All panelists mentioned about this matter. And we know the new approach about this aspect in the word named Water, Energy, Food Nexus. Participation resource systems in the developing country, water governance systems are often centralized and fragmented, leading to inefficiencies and reduced resilience. But resilience, particularly in many resource-concentrated environments, cannot be engaged from the top down just. We need participatory governance framework that do more than inform stakeholders through participation involves shared decision-making, co-production of knowledge, and iterative feedback between policy, science, and technology, and practice. Involving local users, including women, smallholder, farmer, and marginalized groups, enhance the legitimacy and effectiveness of water management. These are not peripheral actors. They are strategic patterns in resilience.
Okay.
We need
I will give you one
this
more
framework. Okay, another aspect. Okay, how? I want to ask some question. How we can move toward integration? With what mindset, type of thinking, and sprite? What area required a paradigm shift and change in approach? And current structure effective in resolving conflict and fostering participation? If not, what kind of structure need to be created urgently? You mentioned about the water boundary conflicts. If we want to, I think my experiences show one of the biggest things that needs to develop, especially in the government level, institutional capacity development. For example, in Iran we established Iran Water Diplomacy Association that affiliated to the biggest university, works in water resource management and different aspects that related to the water. And the main team for this association are the members from different stakeholders that related to the water. This is the kind of developed institutional capacity development could be work with the government. Another aspect I want to share you about Africa. Africa stands at the turning point. Industrial transformation is underway, but it must be inclusive, sustainable, and deeply rooted in the local realities. I understand in these days that you want in Africa to develop irrigated agriculture because you have a rainy day and you have a land. But I'm worried about the increased energy demand. And this is very serious that you consider this aspect. This is needs that if you want to set up the policy, participationary policy in different sectors, water, energy, food, and needs coherent policy to solve the problem that you may face it. In this moment, I understand that you want to you want to supply management and consumption management, but I encourage you about the demand management, consumption management, and supply management that related to the just water, that related to the hard capacity development like infrastructure, dam, irrigation and drainage network, canals, supply system, and so on.
Thank you.
But in demand management, you should focus on the society and local community and the behavior of the people who face the water. This is so important. And we need to aware the social level, aware the value about the water. Especially, I think, in Africa, that maybe people see more water in their country. I live in MENA. We have a water scarcity. I know how much water is valuable. Because of this, I want to encourage you started to work on demand management near supply management.
Thank you.
And soft capacity development.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
That is right and strong. Okay, I want to thank you for your patience. I want to thank you for sitting attentively to this session. And more importantly, I want to thank the panelists. Somebody asked me, so number of people, how are you going to manage that? And I said, no. The people coming up here are very good at it. They will speak straight to the point. And I am happy you spoke straight to the point. Please, can we give them a round of applause? I'm sure you enjoyed them. They will be standing up now, and I'm going to be asking our father, Engineer ShehuMusa, to please as you help me give them a warm handshake as they take their turn down. We've had a group picture before, and so thank you very much. This is the end of this high-level policy dialogue. But I can tell you, we have rapporteurs led by, where's Mama? Professors Osunde. Thank you very much. I'm sure you've captured all of these, and this is a good time. Please, maybe this way, as you take a handshake.
Moderator as well, for moderating very well.
You be in the front. Please. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. You did a very good job.
And he's a politician now also. You are a politician now.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.
Okay, maybe we can take another one, but we did one with the
Come for a photo.
Okay, let's do it again.
I'd like to congratulate you, and I read the efforts you were doing, well recognized, and I wish you all the best for the future. We see you.
in the room. Engineer J. Konashi, I've been instructed to inform you that your seat is in front. Ushers, please help us get those outside to come in. It's a beautiful evening. So glad to see everyone again. And I'm sure we've had a great time at our different sessions from Monday after the closing ceremony, or rather after the opening ceremony, and then yesterday, and of course today. I'm sure we've made a lot of progress as far as water management is concerned in Africa, and of course in Nigeria specifically. It's been a very successful event from what I have gathered from participants and delegates. And it is important that we round off on a good note. So ushers, please help us get everyone outside to come in. I can see that the president of the ICID is seated, so that means every other person should be seated. Thank you very much. All right, we're going to skip the formalities this evening. We already know ourselves. A lot of introductions have been made from Monday. We've interacted, so we'll just go straight to the point and knock off the closing ceremony. Just so, like I said, we can get prepared for the gala night, which is going to be grand. We're going to have awards. We're going to wine, dine, and celebrate to the fullest. So I'm going to skip all the introductions as much as possible, but of course, I must recognize the president of the ICID, Dr. Marco Asieri, who is here seated. Please, let's put our hands together for him. Let's celebrate him. Yes, thank you so much for coming to Nigeria and for being a part of this event. All our foreign delegates, we appreciate you. All our patrons, I can see some of us here. Thank you very much. All the members of NINSID, the staff of the Federal Ministry of Water Resources and Sanitation, all the participants from different organizations who have joined us here, the river basins, and a host of other organizations. So we do appreciate you. And like I said, just so that we can save time, I would skip all the, recognitions. Thank you very much for your understanding. My name is Yar'AduaCentre. I did meet you on Monday, I'm sure you remember. So to kickstart this event officially, I'd like us to please rise for the national anthem. Can we have a volunteer to do that for us? A volunteer, please. I can't do everything on my own. I'm going to be anchoring this event till 7. I need to save my breath. A volunteer, I'm sure there'll be a prize for that. Can we get somebody? Just the first stanza will be fine. A volunteer, do we have one? Can we spice up this event? It doesn't have to be my voice, I'm just going to be here. We can chorus it. Fantastic. So can we go? 1, 2, go.
A round of applause on the agenda with the national anthem out of the way and, of course, officially kickstarting this event. Once again, I'd like to appreciate everyone, honestly. So much to be grateful for, and the organizers are indeed pleased that you're a part of this event. And to properly appreciate you, and of course, all the planners and executioners of this event, let's make welcome the chairperson of NINSEAD and the National Task Team on the 6th African Regional Conference on Irrigation and Drainage 2025. Please, a warm round of applause for Engineer Mrs. Esther Oyerunke Oluniyi as she comes forward.
The Honorable Minister of Water Resources, Engineer Professor Suleiman, no, excuse me, Engineer Professor Joseph Salum Hussein, fellow Nigerian Society of Engineers, and my permanent secretary, Mr. Richard Filangwa. I appreciate the opportunity that has been given to the Nigerian National Committee on Irrigation and Drainage to host this great event. Let me acknowledge our president, the president of International Commission on Irrigation and Drainage, in person of Dr. Mako Akrai, and the General Secretary of ICID. We are really happy that you made it to this event. And by extension, I appreciate all our foreign delegates from various countries of the African continent. Talking of the team from Morocco, as I call you, you can still wave again so that we can recognize you. The team from Morocco, please wave your hand again. Professor Batali and your team, we appreciate you. The team from Egypt, we appreciate you. You can still wave your hands just to refresh our memory. And then the team of our international partners and organizations mentioning AU, Dr. Murray, the SCBC, thank you. MBA, we thank you for coming. FAO, Dr. Valet, we appreciate you. Let me also acknowledge the chair for the tax team. The tax team of ICID on women empowerment in water management, Dr. Nagis. We appreciate your coming and for being part of the women session. We had panelists from the women session that really did greatly. We appreciate you. The youths that came from the various countries of Africa, indeed, you have done greatly. Our resource persons within the country and outside the country, the panelists, those that participated in the high-level discussion and the symposium, we really appreciate you. I appreciate every one of you. But let me come to the patrons of our committee. I appreciate our Baba, Daddy, Professor Engineer Francis Adeniji. They always give us advice from time to time. We have 4 patrons. I also acknowledge the rich speech that was expressed here by our own, the Governor, His Excellency, the Governor of Borno State, Engineer Professor Babagana Zulum, and our patron, Engineer Suleiman Adamu, as well as Engineer I.K. Musa. I appreciate you all, our patrons. Let's clap for every one of them. I also want to appreciate the planning committee members. What you have seen here in the last few days is an expression of what has been put together by the great committee, the tax team members of the Nigerian National Committee on Irrigation and Drainage, the 6th African Regional Conference. I indeed appreciate you for the days of preparation, the weeks of preparation, the commitment, and the efforts that we have put together to make this event a great reality. We have various committee members and their chairpersons, and they have done greatly. We have the transport, I won't mention them all because of time, but indeed, you are really, really very dear to my heart. This particular work that we have achieved this week has been made possible by the collaborative efforts of each and every one of us. I appreciate the event manager also for cooperating with us to ensure that this event has come to reality. Obviously, we have not just been here to be treated to various Nigerian, African, or intercontinental dishes and hospitality, but to leverage the benefits of the great contribution and collaborative opportunities that our collective participation offer us all. In the words of Alfred Allen, a conference is a gathering of people who singly can do nothing, but together can decide that nothing can be done. So truly guided by this principle of sustainability, inclusivity, and collaborations, I believe we all cherish every moment that we have been together. We've been having opportunity to network and interact. We have been able to be together, exchange ideas, and have taken proper notes of every valued contribution from the distinguished speakers and delegates. As a chairperson, as the chairperson of NICID, I also acknowledge all our press team for really playing their role well, the security team, the ushers, and the delegates that came from all across Nigeria and other parts of Africa, as well as other parts of the world. We are drowning in information while starving for wisdom. The world henceforth will be run by synthesizers, people able to put together the right information at the right time. Think critically about it and make important choices wisely. And this is quoted from Mr. E.O. Wilson, as he expressed. So rather than rendering all the talk cheap, let us all go away with this event with total resolve to walk the talk, taking the learnings, initiatives, and inspiration derived from this regional conference to our various domains, both those of us within the country, outside the country, and African continent, and beyond, to drive tremendous progress, better access to quality water, irrigation and drainage, and foster a unified decision to impact positively more in our African continent. Thank you all. Have a blissful evening, and see you, by the grace of God, at the next regional conference, and especially starting with the gala night tonight. Thank you all.
I thought you would make that applause better. She's the chairperson of NICID Nigeria. That means that she's the lead planner for this event, and I'm sure you'd agree that you have done a great job. Please, another round of applause for her. You know, women are very beautiful people, and they're the spice of our lives. Men, am I speaking your mind? Am I speaking the mind of the men? No, I'm asking the men in the room. Women spice up your lives, you know. Imagine a man having a big car. It's just a car. Nobody will really turn. But when you have a beautiful woman in it, you know, heads will roll, right? If you have a big house as a man and then there's no woman in it, it's just a house. But with a woman, it becomes what? A home. Fantastic. Women are beautiful. And if you have money as a man, I mean, what do you buy? Shirts, trousers, nothing. No, there's no... Please, let's celebrate the women in this room. Thank you very much. But you know, I'm going to remind you of what Socrates said. Socrates says, if you, by all means, marry. If you marry a good wife, you'll be happy. If you marry a bad one, you become what? A philosopher. Fantastic. And there's another saying that says, if you marry a good wife, you're complete. If you marry a bad wife, you're finished. But if you marry a woman that loves shopping, you are what? Completely finished. Please, let's celebrate the women. Oh, well. Oh, well. Of course, I mean, you remember on Monday I said we should get ATM card and pins? So that tells you the kind of wife I am. You'll be completely finished, I assure you. All right, let's get to the next item on the agenda. And of course, it's now time for the presentation of highlights of the conference. And that will be done by Engineer ShehuMusa, the co-chairman and National Task Team on the 6th African Regional Conference on Irrigation and Drainage. Please, a round of applause for Engineer ShehuMusa as he comes forward. Let's celebrate him some more. He's one of our patrons, and he's done a good job since Monday. Thank you very much.
I have a 14-page highlight of the report, but I'm only going to read, I think, 6. And even 6, I'm going to try and talk to it rather than read it. So, the 6th African Regional Conference on Irrigation and Drainage of the International Commission on Irrigation and Drainage, organized by Nigerian National Committee under the auspices of Federal Ministry of Water Resources and Sanitation, in collaboration with the African Regional Working Group, was held at Yar'AduaCentre, Abuja, Nigeria, West Africa, from 14th to 18th April 2025. The conference theme was tackling irrigation development and water management crisis in Africa, and had 7 sub-themes, namely creating awareness, emerging and appropriate technology and innovation, transboundary water resource management and security challenges, wastewater recycling and reuse, climate change, sustainability and biodiversity, regulatory framework, public-private partnership. The conference brought together 512 delegates, stakeholders and experts across the globe, but most especially Africa, donor agencies and partners, to discuss these pressing issues and to explore adaptive strategies for climate-resilient irrigation system, share experiences, case studies from African studies on successful irrigation project schemes and policies. The conference also deliberated on promoting regional and international cooperation, partnership, and networking among key stakeholders. The conference was preceded by Young Professional Forum training workshop that took place on 11th and 12th with a field trip to a farm in Abuja along the Kefi Road. The opening ceremony featured welcome address presented by the Permanent Secretary, Richard Filangwa, the Chairman, African Regional Group, Dr. Mohammed Abdel Mohammed Waba, was represented by Engineer ShehuMusa, who gave an opening remarks too, while the President of ICID, Mr. Marco Asieri, gave the address from ICID. The Honorable Minister presented an address as the chief host, and there was also an address by the special guest of honor, the Executive Governor of Borno State, Professor Babagana Umara Zulu. Goodwill messages were received from Ambassador Dr. Godnos Igali, former Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Water Resources, on behalf of all the former PAMSECs. The head of service of the Federation, Mrs. Didi Esther Wilson-Jack, also gave a goodwill address. The conference was declared open by Mr. President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, who was ably represented by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator Dr. George Akume. Paper presentation. The conference featured presentation of 56 papers. The list is attached as Annex A on a wide range of related issues and were exhaustively discussed. The lead paper, titled Tackling Irrigation Development and Management Crisis in Africa, was presented by Dr. Mark Smith, Director General, International Water Management Institute. The conference also witnessed some key side events, which included the National Symposium, high-level policy dialogue, women program, exhibition, and is to be followed tomorrow with a technical tour to Kano. The key takeaways. For effective tackling of irrigation development and water management crises, and to ensure water and food security in Africa, the following key takeaway emerged from this conference. 1, the need to raise awareness and empower the youth women groups to play active role in addressing African intertwined food security and water scarcity challenges towards more resilient and food secure future. River Basin Development Authority and other similar agencies in the water and sanitation sector across Africa should be manned by relevant professionals to ensure effective implementation of projects and programs. Nigeria and other African countries have beautiful plans, policies, and strategies, but the problem has been political will and capacity, financial and human, for their implementation. Extension workers should be recruited and trained to assist farmers in all the public irrigation schemes across Africa. 5, develop a robust mechanism necessary for the integration of the various variable sources of funding for sustainable implementation, operation, and maintenance of irrigation systems. 6, promote effective and efficient planning, design, and management of irrigation systems to mitigate the impacts of climate change and ensure sustainable agricultural productivity. 7, Adaptive research is critical for improved agricultural development and management. To this end, the universities and research institutions should collaborate with relevant ministry, department, and agency of governments and the private sector to transmit research findings for application to farmers. Hydroponic and aeroponic are alternative agricultural practice in urban and peri-urban areas for increased food production and job creation for women, youth, and vulnerable groups, and this should be strongly promoted and supported. 9, water harvest-based irrigation is a crucial component of water conservation and should be deployed for sustainable small-scale irrigation. 10, irrigated agriculture to be transformative force for women empowerment. Existing barriers, which include but not limited to the following: limited access to irrigation technology due to financial constraint, lack of technical training, restrictive land tenure policy, underrepresentation in formal irrigation institutions and decision-making processes, and marginalization of women's voices in governance and management irrigation schemes must be dismantled. 11, promote the transition from rain-fed agriculture to climate-smart and irrigation-based farming systems to guarantee long-term food security across continents. The need for, and 12, the need for comprehensive policy reform, financing mechanisms, transboundary water cooperation, investment in water infrastructure, as well as creating an enabling environment for private sector involvement. 13, promote the development of appropriate technology adaptable to smallholder farmers to ensure better livelihood and strengthen agricultural economic across Africa. Artificial intelligence is very effective in irrigation and drainage development because of its propensity to aid increased crop yields with less water and energy. Climate change is one of the major factors that are negatively affecting agriculture in Africa. Therefore, ways to tackle, adopt, and mitigate the effect of climate change are imperative. 18, we need to implement sustainable practices, control irrigation buffer zones, and optimize fertilizer use. 19, continuous monitoring and evaluation are crucial for long-term water resource management in agricultural landscape. 21, irrigated agriculture has a great potential to revitalize the rural landscape and drive the achievement of 2030 agenda for SDG. 22, Nigeria and indeed other African countries must not allow legitimacy for management of their water resources to be dictated by external actors. 23, good quality data collection should always be encouraged using modern technological advancements in addition to the traditional ground observation of hydrometeorological variables derived from satellite image. 24, sediment retention basins should be constructed on the various subcatchments of dam basins to trap and localize sediment. 25, climate, soil, and plant characteristics should be taken into consideration when determining appropriate amount and timing of irrigation. Reliability of information sources, particularly from agrochemical dealers, farmers' network, is questionable, potentially leading to unsafe pesticide practices and compromising consumer safety. 27, there is an urgent need for comprehensive education, training, and safety campaign to promote responsible pesticide use in by African governments. 28, water management and the governing laws and treaties on water should be included in secondary and high school curricula across African region. And 29, institutional silos where agricultural service delivery, irrigation, environment do not complement and cooperate for the progress of the development of irrigation development must be curtailed. Thank you very much. That's the highlight of the report.
Please let's celebrate him one more time. Engineer Yar'AduaCentre, co-chairman, National Task Team on the 6th African Regional Conference on Irrigation and Drainage. He did a fantastic job with that. When he went on with the numbers, 1, 2, 3, and then 20-something and all, I was just checking, to see. Okay, now it's not time to get to the next item. I was just about to say something, but maybe I should still say it. Men don't really talk too much, and they're just straight to the point. They deal with what they have to deal with, and that's it. I'm a woman, by the way, so the women shouldn't think I'm talking about women. But I'm just thinking, if Google was a human being, would it be a man or a woman? I was just thinking, Google would be a man? Of course, Google will be a woman, because these days, even before you say what you want to ask, Google has told you what is on your mind. How does Google know? When you're having an argument with a woman, that's what happens. She tells you what's on your mind, even while you're yet to speak. She knows everything that you want to say. Please let's celebrate ourselves one more time. All right, so let's get on with the awards and appreciations. Just to let you know that we have another category of awards presentation, and that will be done at the gala night. The gala night begins at about 7 p.m. Like I already mentioned, it's going to be grand. If you have your access card already, don't plan to miss it for anything, I can assure you. But let's get Dr. EAO Aderigbigbe, the immediate past chairman of NINSID, upstage for the award presentation. Please, a round of applause for him as he comes forward. He's been so helpful and, of course, being a part of those putting this event together. I think we need another microphone here, something that can move around as we do this. Of course, he'll give a brief remark about the awards before we get on with it.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Yeah, please, I have a boss, very good, very nice. He could do a lot, but he's very shy. When you are with him personally, you can go to any length. But when it comes to public space, now I want to use the power of the microphone to kindly and humbly invite the chairman for this award subcommittee, Engineer Joe Kwanashi, the retired director of Irrigation and Drainage. Please continue until he comes up, please. Yes. And Kwanashi is a household name. Yes. I want to let you know that the current director worked for so many years under him. Yes. So he will give us a brief about the awards generally.
Good evening, all. I'm being forced to do this at short notice because I was not in any way informed that I'll be required to do this, but anyway, here we go. Basically, as far as awards are concerned for today, we have 2 sets of awards, as has been announced earlier on. There will be some awards that will be given out during the gala night, but there are others that will be given out now. And the ones that are to be given out now are basically classified as those who have operated as policy advisors, mainly technocrats. There will be others who have been in academia, and there will be the young professionals. There will be those who are farmers in irrigation. There are some consultants, contractors, and we will also have a special recognition for those who may not necessarily fit into any of those categories, but who have nonetheless contributed significantly to irrigation development in Nigeria. If we start with policy advisors, we have Engineer ShehuMusa. I've just been informed that we have some certificates that will be given to these people, and we would like to invite the ICID president to hand over these certificates to the awardees as they are mentioned.
All right, so we'll just mention the names of those receiving awards this evening, or rather at this time. Some others will collect much later. In the category of technocrats and policy advisors, the first on the list is Engineer ShehuMusa, Development of Irrigation Schemes. Please, a round of applause for him as he comes forward. Engineer ShehuMusa. We'll quickly run through this, so once you hear your name, we'd like you to please come out as fast as possible. And please, for the rest of us, put your hands together for them, just so that we can put springs on their steps. The next is Engineer J. Kwanashi. He's also here, all right? Retired Director of Irrigation and Drainage, Development of Irrigation Schemes. A round of applause for him. So he's the first recipient tonight. Congratulations. Next is Engineer M.O. Ofi, Retired Director of Irrigation and Drainage, Development of Irrigation Schemes, Reinvigoration of Staff Members of Irrigation and Drainage. Please, if you're here, we'd like you to please step forward quickly. And next is Engineer Dr. E.A. Aderigbe. He also happens to be on stage. Please, let's put our hands together for him. Director of Irrigation and Drainage, retired, for reactivation of NINSEED and ICID activities, re-establishment of Nigeria Youth Professional Forum, and of course prioritize capacity building of the staff members and development of irrigation schemes. Fantastic. Engineer Derek Bigwe is a great person. Next is Engineer R.A. Oyewole. He's late, but this is a posthumous award. He laid the foundation for the takeoff of World Bank Trimming Project Development of Irrigation Schemes. If someone, a relative is here, please step forward. Next is Engineer R.A.K. Jimo, one of the most valuable staff of the Department of Irrigation and Drainage, active official of NINSEED, and also for development of irrigation schemes. A round of applause for Engineer R.A.K. Jimo as he receives his certificate of recognition. And next is Engineer Y.M. Peter. Engineer Y.M. Peter is a pioneer national project coordinator, trimming project. Next is Engineer Saliu Ahmed. Engineer Peter, all right. Please, a round of applause for her. There's a representative here. Please, let's celebrate her. Engineer Salihu Ahmed, past MD of Benue River Basin, is here. Okay. Please, let's celebrate them. This is indeed the big one, and they have played very active roles, and that's why they're being recognized tonight. Engineer Salihu Ahmed is on stage. Please, let's celebrate him. Past MD, Benue River Basin Development Authority, one of the most cooperating managing directors in the river basins, and also for developing irrigation schemes and integrated farming, talking about the Songhai farming model. Next is Engineer M.S. Bala, the longest serving Secretary General of NINSEED. Put your hands together for him. He acts as a bridge between NINSEED and ICID, facilitator of Water Users Association in trimming schemes. Engineer M.S. Bala is on stage and receives his certificate of recognition now. Let's celebrate him some more. Thank you very much. And the next category is education and academia. And the first on the list is Professor Henry Evoname Igbadun. Please, let's celebrate him. He almost took my job, by the way. Prof, please, this is where I get my urgent 2K. Stick with the university. I'm from Edo State, so you should know why. Contributions for your contribution to NINSEED activities and irrigation education in Nigeria. Vice Chairman, Academia, NINSEED. He did a fantastic job in this event, and I'm sure you will agree. Next is Professor ShehuMusa. Let's celebrate him for his contribution to NINSEED activities and irrigation education in Nigeria. So just the two of them in the category of education and academia. They, of course, deserve this recognition tonight. Let's celebrate him some more. Celebrate your teachers. I'm sure you learned that from His Excellency Babagana Zulum on Monday. Next is the young professionals, and the first on the list is Engineer Abdurrahman Ogoli for his leadership role in the coordination of the youth professionals of NINSEED and ICID. They said young professionals. Is he a young man? I can... You are young politically, or the age was football age. Please, let's celebrate him. Engineer Abdurrahman Ogoli. And next is Engineer Mrs. Inimform Achibon Godwin. Engineer Mrs. Achibon Godwin, is she here? All right. The next category is irrigated farmers. And first on the list is Dangote Group of Company. Do we have a representative here? Next is Mrs. Salamatu Ahmed. Irrigated farmers. Do we have a representative? Next is Mrs. Zuwaira Mohammed. Okay. Mrs. Salamatu Ahmed has a representative, or you are Mrs. Salamatu? Oh, representative. Thank you very much. Please, let's celebrate her. A round of applause. Mrs. Salamatu is receiving this award for being the leader, Apex Women Water Users Association, Hadejia Valley Irrigation Scheme. And next is Mrs. Zuwaira Mohammed. Do we have a representative, please? Mrs. Zuwaira Mohammed. Okay, please let's celebrate the representative, a leader, Water Users Association, Bakalori Irrigation Scheme. All right, that's for the category of irrigated farmers. Please let's celebrate her as she steps forward. A round of applause, please. By the way, do you know when you celebrate other people, celebration just finds a way around you? You know? So let's celebrate them. Maybe tonight, as a result of you celebrating other people, you'll get the bigger award, which will come up at the gala night. You never can tell. The next category is that of consultants, and the first on the list is the Crown Consultants Construction Products Nigeria Limited. Do we have a representative? A round of applause. It's an indigenous firm. Do we have a representative? Okay, Dr. Derek Gugbe is taking that. Please let's celebrate the Crown Consultants. And next is Global Project Consortium Nigeria Limited. All right, M-Plan Groups and Afri Project Consortium. Do we have representatives? All right, so we'll move on now to contractors. Sorry? N-Plan Groups. Could you please, please let's put our hands together for him as he comes forward. We'd like the contractors to get ready. On our list, we have Gilmore Nigeria Limited, CGC Nigeria Limited, and Impresit Baccalaureate PLC. Those are the contractors receiving certificate of recognition tonight. Please let's celebrate M-Plan Groups. Thank you very much. So the contractors, do we have anyone here? Gilmore Nigeria Limited, CGC Nigeria Limited, and Impresit Baccalaureate PLC. Any of them? Impresit is here. Please put your hands together for him as he steps forward to receive his certificate of recognition. The next category is the special recognition category. On stage is Impresit Baccalaureate PLC for the development and construction of irrigation projects. Please celebrate him as he steps down. The next is a special recognition category, and the first on the list is Dr. Bukar Shaibu. This is a posthumous award. The former Honorable Minister of the Ministry of Water Resources and Sanitation. Do we have a representative? All right. Next is General Alani Akirinade. The Commissioner from Borno State, is he here? The Commissioner from Borno State. I'm sure Commissioner for Water Resources, Borno State. Okay, he's not here. So the next is General Alani Akirinade. Do we have a representative? The next is General Gado Nasco. All right. Engineer Bunu Sharif. This is also a posthumous award. Okay. General Gado Nasco, there's a representative. General Gado Nasco, by the way, is a former Honorable Minister of the Ministry of Water Resources and Sanitation, and he receives this award for the development of irrigation projects. General Gado Nasco here represented. Please, a round of applause. The next is Engineer Bunu Sharif. This is a posthumous award, like I already mentioned. Do we have a representative from maybe his family or Chad Basin from Borno can receive the award for
that this has not been just a gathering. This has not been just, you know, an event to share knowledge, to make networking. I said it already when I was here on Sunday and during the opening ceremony. This is, for me, this is a starting point. Because Africa, there's no doubt that Africa, for ICRD, but not only for ICRD, is going to be probably the most important, most interesting continent to deal with. So especially as we are in Nigeria, Nigeria, we know, is probably the first or the second largest economy of Africa, the highest populated, the most populated country of Africa, the fastest growing economy. There's many things that regard Nigeria. And with all this, I really think that as president of ICRD and as ICRD, we are, I'm here together with Secretary General, Dr. Gupta of ICRD. We will really be looking very thoroughly and very seriously into what has been produced during this conference and what can be done from this moment onwards. So there's a lot I have learned from the professional point of view, from professional side. I was amazed to listen this morning to this very interesting session on the women empowerment, because I have seen for the first time, this was very important for me, I've seen for the first time how empowerment women in agriculture can really make a difference in the rural areas for communities who live in the agricultural areas. Because you see, these women, they started to produce money, they are now independent, the husbands are happy with this. They were not even allowed, if I understand correctly, they were not even allowed to go out of the villages. Now they are independent, they have money, and the husbands are happy, and they are producing more income, increasing the overall livelihood of the communities. So that's a great, that was a really astonishing information for me. And I really think, I already said to my friend, chairperson of the Nigerian National Committee, that Eileen, we have to showcase this. We have to showcase this, especially starting from the next appointment as ICRD, which is going to be the ICRD World Irrigation Forum, which is going to be held in September in Malaysia, where, of course, I'm waiting for you all to be together with me, all together. Of course, just allow me a few seconds more, the young professional. You know, when I was elected in India in November 2023, I said during my speech that two of the main pillars I would be striving for, I would be relying on for my activity as ICRD president is youth involvement and gender balance, or involvement of women empowerment. So I learned a lot from them. I had the chance to hear, especially yesterday also during the dialogue they had, every one of them was showcasing, was discussing, was describing the features or the problems of their own country, from Mali to Burkina Faso, to Niger, Nigeria, of course, and all other countries. So that was another very important point for me that I'm taking away, and we will, for sure, we will mark in our report of this conference. And of course, then, there is the human heritage, the human point of view, the human side, what I'm taking home with me. You know, in Italy, but I think in Europe, let's say like this, Nigeria is very famous, of course, for some things. They have a very good football team, excellent football team, also has been good. If I may say so, it's also very beautiful women. But what I'm taking home with me is the joy of life. I have learned here how Nigerians, someone said Nigerians are the happiest people in the world, in the planet. And this is true. That's exactly what I felt. There's no time to be sad. This is what I'm taking with me. I think this is the great lesson I'm taking home with me. There's no time to be sad. Even in difficulties, I have heard about people who have been have had serious difficulties, many problems. Still, they always have the smile on their face, and this is a unique experience for me. I will take home this with me, and so concluding this conference, the biggest energy the women have. Yes, yes, I said it this morning. Yes, I said it this morning. We were together in the session. I was already sure that women can do anything. Women can do anything, but I was making this example. Let's just assume for a moment that all the leaders, the political leaders in the world, if they were women, how many wars would we have? I think zero, none. So anyway, I will conclude thanking again, first of all, Nigerian National Committee of ICID, all the friends, brothers and sisters that I can say, if I may say so, I have found here for the great effort, the great job they have been doing, all the participants, the authorities, the excellencies, Ministry of Water Resources, Minister of Agriculture, Governor of Zumu region, the Presidency of the Federal Republic State of Nigeria. So I will say, I'm waiting for you to the World Irrigation Forum we are hosting in Kuala Lumpur, in Malaysia, from 7 to 13 of September. I will not say goodbye. I will say in Italian. In Italian we say arrivederci, which means we are going to see us again soon. Ciao.
At this point, we would have the naming ceremony for the ICID president. I think you should just come back. Come back, sir. Come back. Because you have said he's not leaving us. So it's just good we have the naming ceremony, just right away. So the next time you're here, we can just add that to your name. So can we do a voting? Can we suggest names? 3 names. Which one? 3 names. I want them to suggest the names that they want to give you. Yar'AduaCentre, in Nigeria, I think the Prince of Atlantic Ocean, that's a dangerous name. Prince of Atlantic Ocean? The Prince of the Sea. Do we agree? Okay, so maybe we should vote. Yar'AduaCentre, we have Chukwuemeka, then Umar. So Danko. Okay, fine, let's do this now. So we have Yar'AduaCentre. Those in favor of Yar'AduaCentre say aye. Those not in favor say nay. The nays have it. Chukwuemeka. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. Oh wow, the nays have it. Tanko. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The nays, put off your mic. Nays, put off your mic. The ayes have it. So here I present to you Dr. Marco Tanko Asieri. Please, another round of applause for him. Thank you very much as he goes back to his seats. And by the way, he said Nigerian women are beautiful. So all the single girls here, did you take note of that? I didn't say more than that, by the way. All right, it's almost time to go, just so we can prepare for the gala night. And We're going to have the vote of thanks now, and that will be done by the Secretary General of ICID, Dr. Gupta. Please, a round of applause for him as he steps forward. Let's celebrate him, celebrate him.
Good evening, everybody. Before giving a vote of thanks, I would like to say a few words that this is my first visit to Nigeria. In fact, first visit to Africa. And I'm happy that my first visit to Africa is in Nigeria. Because it's a very, very memorable trip for me. I have traveled a lot in the world, but I have not seen such a beautiful people of a country. I found everybody is smiling. Everybody is happy. And I was wondering why. But the reason is the people are good. They're wonderful people. And when I go back, I will definitely try to make another visit. And I will find some reason to come back. In this conference, before that, I will say one more thing. Before coming here, in my office also, like President said, many people said that you are going to Nigeria. So, please, let me check that whether it is okay or not. So, in my office, my executive assistant wrote even an email to Secretary General Mr. Sule. Is it okay there, everything? And when there was no reply for 10 days, so we were a little bit afraid. I said, please hold on, don't book my tickets. But after 10 days, he replied, and he says, come fast here. So everything is okay, and I found it is more than okay. Yes. NANCIT has done a very fine job in organizing ICID event. This is one of the flagship event in Africa, African Regional Conference. And this is the 6th in series. And the way it has been organized successfully, I believe that 7th one will also be in Nigeria. I hope. Very soon. I thanks NANCIT and all the members of the task force, organizing committee, technical committee for organizing this successful event successfully and doing the hard work for so many days, months or years and bringing this conference to an end, to a successful end. But our journey starts from now. As President said, we have to work on the outcomes. But after seeing here, after coming to the Nigeria and Africa especially, and after meeting the young professionals yesterday, interacting with them, I found that there is a lot of potential here which can be harnessed, which can be, and that is possible if we work together hard more. So I assure you that after going back, my office will be directly connected to all the national committees of Africa. Especially, we are going to make a WhatsApp group in which we will have members of all young professionals. Our president will join us, and we will have very frequent interactions to go forward in the development of water resources, irrigation, and drainage. Again, coming back to vote of thanks, as President has already conveyed thanks to the dignitaries, I will also convey my thanks to all the political leaders, especially Honorable President of Federal Republic of Nigeria, Governor, Executive Governor of Brunei State, our Honorable Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, our past ministers of Nigeria, and all other dignitaries who have arrived here from different countries, from different international organizations, institutes, different organizations. Thank you very much for joining this African Regional Conference. You have made this conference a success. Thank you. One announcement my president has done, that is about World Irrigation Forum that is going to be being planned from 7th September to 13th September at Kuala Lumpur. But before that, you should all remember that this is the Platinum Jubilee year of ICID. And we are going to celebrate Platinum Jubilee of ICID on 24th of June this year at New Delhi Central Office. And for that, we are organizing a 2-day event, Indo-Global Irrigation Summit. My office has sent the invitations to all the national committees, and personally I invite you all here to come to New Delhi and I have tasted for 3 days I am tasting the Nigerian food, so I want you all to taste Indian food now. So, welcome to New Delhi first, and then we meet again at Kuala Lumpur. See you again. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Dr. Gupta. You deserve a naming ceremony too, but we do not have time. Thank you so much for all the kind words you've said about Nigeria and Nigerians. We also appreciate you. Please, let's appreciate him one more time. Thank you very much. Here's a quick announcement. Those who have registered for the technical tour will be going to Kano Irrigation Scheme tomorrow. The time for departure is 7:40 a.m. Please take note, no African time. 7:40 a.m. and the meeting point is Abuja Continental Hotel. Thank you very much. It's now time for the closing remarks. I understand that the Minister of Water Resources would also give the final closing remarks at the gala night. But for now, just so we can close this ceremony, let's make welcome the current President, Professor S.Z. Abubakar, as he comes forward. Quickly, it's not that I know that he is the pioneer president of the young professionals, and so that's why we want you to close this event for us. Please, let's celebrate him. He's shocked, but of course we know he has the capacity to do this for us. Just in a few words, appreciate our foreign delegates and all the participants at this conference, and it will be time to go. Don't forget the gala night kicks off in about a few minutes, so all roads leads to the hotel where it is taking place. By the way, your access card is required.
Thank you very much. I'm going to give an interim vote of thanks, I understand. The dignitaries, the president, the secretary of ICID, we thank you so much for the inspiring remarks you made and the participation that has been very inclusive. Our tax team, leaders, the organizing committees, the participants, foreign delegates that we have, the young professionals that are here, the practitioners that are here, the academia, all of us that are here, I, on behalf of the organizers, want to thank you very much, appreciate you for your patience and your participation throughout the 3 days event. I also would like to encourage those of you that are going for the site visit in Kano to also get ready and make sure that you are on time and prompt tomorrow, so that we conclude the field visit segment of this very important event. With this, I would like to welcome you to the gala night and also enjoy you to please relax and enjoy yourself in the next 1-2 hours that we are going to be there. And I wish you a very good evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's the current president. It's about time to go. Thank you very much. Just to let you know that all the acronyms or names you can see on the stage are supporters of this event. So we'd like to thank everyone who made this event a huge success. It's time to go. But we're going to do something very beautiful as we round off. I'm going to say ARCID, and you're going to say, let's go fast together. I'm using that because the ICID president said at the beginning of this event that if you want to go far, you go alone. But if you want to go fast, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, then let's go together. So we're going to do this. When I say ARCID, you say, let's go far together. And when I say, let's go far together, you say ARCID. Are we ready? Are we ready? All right, may we please rise as we do this? Beautiful. So thank you very much. ARCID. I mean, let's bring down this roof. We're done with the event. The building can come down. ARCID. Let's go far together. Thank you very much. God bless you and God bless Nigeria.